The glory days of 1990s baseball saw the peak era of Chicago Cubs hero Slammin' Sammy Sosa duel it out with one half of the Bash brothers, Big Mac Mark McGwire from the St. Louis Cardinals. In 1998, when Major League Baseball was at the peak of its popularity after suffering a major black eye during the 1994 players' strike, fans could not wait to see which home run slugger would top the other and how far their home runs left the stadium, while Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire chased the single-season home run record. But that wasn't the only thing they were chasing. They knew that one day their world would come crashing down if or when Major League Baseball found a way to expose their worst-kept secret in baseball. But until that moment happened, Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire filled the sports world with excitement in 1998. Sosa loved to tell reporters that Mark McGwire was the man in the United States, but he was the man in the Dominican Republic. It truly was a race to the home run record in 1998, and baseball fans were all in for the ride of their lives. During spring training before the 1998 season, odds makers had King Griffey Jr. and Mark McGwire as the favorites to be the home run king by the end of the season. King Griffey was easily the best talent in the league with his naturally smooth swing and graceful power. His 58 home runs in 1997 teased fans to his potential run into the single-season home run record. And McGwire started off the season just like he ended 1997. With a grand slam home run in the 5th inning of the season opener against the Dodgers, Mark McGwire was off and running. McGwire was well on pace to beating Roger Maris's single-season record of 61 home runs. By May 30th, 1998, McGwire hit 27 home runs, which is more than double the amount of Maris's home runs during his record season 1996 by that point. This, of course, wasn't a shock to anyone in the modern era of baseball who watched McGwire play in Oakland and in St. Louis. So where was Sosa in the beginning of his home run race? In May, when McGwire hit 27 home runs, Sammy Sosa was way behind the leaderboard with just 13 home runs. But that was before the Chicago Cubs slugger was about to have one of the hottest months in baseball history and would solidify his position in what would become the most anticipated home run race in a season by a single player.
Now Sammy Sosa has done it again.
In June 1998, Sosa was on fire and set the Major League record for most home runs in June with a staggering 20 home runs, which got him to 33 home runs in the season by that point. His red-hot month moved him up the leaderboard to 3rd place, while McGwire still led the league with 37 and King Griffey Jr. tied with Sosa at 33, and a new, friendly rivalry was born. Outside of Chicago, no one really knew who Sammy Sosa was, but they were quickly introduced to Slamming Sammy right after the All-Star break.
Here comes the 1-0. Swung on, belted deep toward right. Burnett's on the run toward the corner, looks up.
McGwire hit 5 home runs in a week after the All-Star break, but by late July, it was clear that there was a real good chance that the home run record would fall. By July 26th, McGwire did something no other St. Louis Cardinals player could do. He hit his 44th home run of a season in July.
And there goes number 44. It may not come back.
He was the first player in Cardinals history to hit more than 43 home runs and still had months to go. Sammy Sosa was right behind him, hitting 42 home runs by the end of July. McGwire, looking over his shoulder, saw Sosa creeping up to chase for the best record in baseball, which culminated in their matchup of August 19th for an in-person matchup at Wrigley Field. In what was the most anticipated game of the season, the Cardinals were playing the Cubs, but the fans came out in droves to watch McGwire face off against Sosa. Thousands of fans and media were in attendance outside the ballpark, behind the outfield section, way before the first pitch, so they could watch batting practice and hopefully catch a ball. The Cardinals were in Chicago for a 3-game series, and in Game 2, Sammy Sosa ignited a roar from the crowd in hitting his 48th home run of the season, and surpassing McGwire as the top home run hitter.
He's 1 for 2, and he sends a rocket deep toward left. Back goes Mabry, at the track, at the wall, he's got it, number 48.
But it only lasted for 1 hour, because in the same game, 1 hour later, McGwire would hit 2 bombs to retake the lead.
Swung on, belted, into center field, Judson back, at the track, at the wall, McGwire has number 49.
Sosa, with his carefree personality, was okay with that. They even did a joint press conference before the game with a lot of joking and laughing. The rivalry for who would be the next home run king was fun for both of them, and it showed.
Every night I go home and I'm trying to watch baseball tonight, SportsCenter, and trying to see what McGwire does.
The battle continued back and forth for the rest of the summer, but McGwire would be the first to reach 50 home runs. On August 20th, 1998, against the Mets, McGwire hit his 50th home run, setting a new Major League Baseball record for the most most consecutive 50 home run seasons at 3. Sosa met the challenge to keep up with McGwire, and 3 days later, Sosa would hit his own 50th and 51st home runs. The unique part of this rivalry was Sosa was never too pressured to beat McGwire. In all of the press conferences and interviews, Sosa was seen as the happy guy who loved the moment, playing great baseball next to his friend McGwire. While McGwire had all of the pressure and expectations to break Roger Maris's record, Sosa didn't have that pressure, but they pushed each other along the way to see who could go yard each night. Do you remember earlier when McGwire broke the Cardinals single-season record in July? Well, Sosa broke the Chicago Cubs record on September 4th, 1998, hitting his 57th home run against the Pittsburgh Pirates. An incredible feat that had the Pittsburgh Pirates fans cheering the away team and asking Sammy Sosa for a curtain call hat tilt. Fans were selling out stadiums all season long when the Cardinals and Cubs played their away games. But when it came time for Mark McGwire and the Cardinals to come home at the tail end of the season, the fever pitch was at an all-time high, in anticipation for McGwire to surpass Babe Ruth and Roger Maris on the home run leaderboard. Even if you weren't a baseball fan, people all over the world tuned in their televisions to watch history in the making. The moment was bigger than baseball, and everyone wanted to witness it. McGwire was at 59 home runs, and Sosa was at 57 home runs. At any moment, one of these two had the potential to break a record that had lasted 37 years. The moment couldn't have been any better on September 7th, 1998. Sammy Sosa and the Cubs happened to be playing against the Cardinals in St. Louis for this opportunistic matchup. The battle of these two baseball giants, with Roger Maris's family in attendance, proved to be everything it was hyped up to be. In the 8th inning, McGwire hit a bomb to tie Roger Maris.
Arrival. That ball is gone if it's fair. It is a home run. Number 61.
And Sammy Sosa stood in the outfield, took off his glove, and clapped and hugged his friend in recognition of the moment. The next day, McGwire officially made history and hit a line drive ball right over the left field wall to stand alone as the only player in baseball history to hit 62 home runs in a single season. Again, Sosa had to watch from the outfield as McGwire made history with fireworks and fanfare. Commissioner Bud Selig stopped the game to say a few remarks, along with the Maris family. Not to mention, McGwire parading around the field in a 1962 Corvette. But the story doesn't end there. There were still a couple of weeks left in the season, and Sosa was not going down without a fight. Sosa would go on to hit 4 home runs in the next 3 games. Just like McGwire was able to break Roger Maris's record in his home stadium, Sosa broke Roger Maris's record in Wrigley Field in Chicago. Trailing by 2 runs, Sammy hit a 9th inning long ball to tie McGwire as the new home run leader.
Swung on, there she goes! Number 62!
Fans inside the stadium gave Sosa a 6-minute standing ovation, while his teammates carried him off the field. And now, the race was on. Who would end the season on top? McGwire and Sosa went back and forth, hitting 63, 64, 65. Sosa would take the lead at 66, but McGwire would tie him again just 45 minutes later. Sosa would keep up, but then McGwire would just take the lead back again. In his last at-bat of the season, McGwire hit his final home run to reach 70 for the season.
2 out. Number 70!
Sosa didn't do too bad himself, ending up with 66 home runs for the year. Sosa may have ended up in second place in his friendly rivalry, but he got what he wanted, which was a playoff berth. In the end, this rivalry by 2 likable guys saved baseball. Fans came back to the game they used to love to watch 2 of the best face off in one of the best displays of power hitting in baseball history. Remember, in the beginning of the video, I said McGwire and Sosa's world would come crashing down if or when Major League Baseball found a way to expose their worst-kept secret in baseball. Well, it did. And in 2010, Mark McGwire came clean with his secret and told the Associated Press that he used to use steroids and other performance-enhancing drugs for 10 years while playing in the major leagues, including in 1998 when he broke the home run record. Sammy Sosa, on the other hand, has repeatedly dodged admitting the use of steroids. Just recently, in his return to Chicago, he was asked again if he used steroids during his playing days. Sosa stumbled over his words and evaded the question. The relationship between the Cubs and Sammy Sosa has soured over the years because the issue of Sosa's legacy is forever tarnished because of his dark secret. Although Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire will always be linked to the steroid era of baseball and will most likely never make it to the Hall of Fame, the friendly but competitive home run rivalry of 1998 will forever be remembered as 2 of the best individual performances in baseball history.